Good morning, YouTube. It is I, Danielle, better known as Danielle the Happy Medium. And in this video, a topic today, we're going to talk about psychic images or mediumistic images. And can you really tell the difference? Off the back of a question that I was given on a demonstration of mediumship yesterday afternoon, one of the particular clientele in the room asked me, Danielle, how can you tell if you are working psychically or mediumistically, especially when it comes to clairvoyance? Many people get very confused when it comes to psychic mediumship or whether or not they're working psychically or mediumistically. So let me give you some hints and tips on how I know the difference between psychic, mediumistic, and how you can flip the switch. For many years, it was something that I never heard a lot of in the mediumship movement, psychic and mediumship. I thought it was all one and the same. As I've become more and more aware of the movement, and as I've been watching more and more demonstrations of mediumship, and as my mediumship has grown, I've seen the difference that is psychic versus mediumship. As I've done some videos already on psychic and medium, maybe check that out in the beginners 2018, and that's a little further down in the YouTube channel there. But for the hints and tips for the Buddha medium out there, or even for the general public that could maybe help you out here, this one's probably going to be more for the Buddha medium. The best way to tell if you're working psychically or mediumistically when you're working clairvoyant, which is being able to see the spirit world, to anybody who may not understand what clairvoyance is that when I work psychically, I tend to see the images just as you are seeing me sitting here talking to you via YouTube. There is quite a density to them. They're very sort of box standard, if that makes sense. When I see mediumistic images, they have what I say is a glow around them, or they will have a white haze around them. And this is how I can determine whether I'm working psychically or mediumistically. The reason being is because the images are different. How have I learned and taught myself this? Basically, I used to play a game with my guides. I used to ask my guides to come forward and go, show me something that's psychic, show me something that's mediumistic. And then I would practice it in open circles, or I would practice it on my one-to-one sittings. And ultimately, I become very aware of what was psychic and what was mediumistic. Psychic images are, like I say, very box standard. You tend to just see, the gold ring is probably the easiest image I can give you so you would understand it, is that you will just see the gold ring as if it was, sitting in a hand. So if you were to take your ring off, or, a watch off that you may be wearing right now and put it in your hand, that's exactly how you would see a psychic image, just as the image is in your hand. When it is a mediumistic image, you will find round the watch, around the ring, is a haze or a sort of glow, or it will seem to sort of stand out a bit more, other than just the watch that would be sitting. So if you put a watch in your hand right now, or your ring in your hand as you're watching this video and look at it, you will just see it as a box standard, the ring. But then if you think about it and look at it and imagine a white glow around it, that is what your image will look like. Now, the white glow can be quite big. Sometimes it can just be like sort of hazy, like a white mist sometimes, or like sort of white haze, like sort of as if somebody had shaded in the back, but the watch was standing out, or the ring was standing out, and it's got this lovely little white haze around it. And that is the way that I determine whether or not I'm working psychically clairvoyantly or mediumistically clairvoyant. The best way, like I say, was the way in which that I taught myself, was to work with my guides, to play a game. My guides love to teach. They love to give knowledge. So use their knowledge and their mindset in order to be able to enhance this clair range, which is clairvoyance. And once you know the difference between when you're working psychically or when you're working mediumistically, you can start and blend this through your mediumship so that your mediumship becomes completely evidential. So you're never ever working on a psychic vibration. It is very easy to get confused when you don't know the difference. So this is the easiest way that I can explain to you so that you know whether or not you're working psychically or mediumistically. And over time, like I say, that can be blended into your mediumship. It can be pushed and moved out, and it is a great way to build a relationship with your guides. I find this to be one of the easiest ways to do it. And I'll tell you a little story. I had one of my students, she'd been down to Arthur Findlay College, as many of you that probably know the Arthur Findlay College, and she'd been working and doing some courses down there. She's a girl from the north, and she'd remembered that I told her this in the class. And when she was down there working, she became very aware of an image, but it was a mediumistic image. And she was like, that's what Danielle told me. So I know that this works. The reason I know for is because me and my guides built it. This is the way that I learned. So I know it works. And I know it also works for the general public there as well. I know because my students have told me it works. So therefore I know that what I give you goes on to work for other people, other mediums out there. So what I would recommend for you is check out how the images look to you. Test them out with your guides. Get them to play a game or get them to bring forward images that are different. Then practice it out either in open circles or on your private sittings. Again, like I said before, I sat in many groups. In my own group, which is Gateway Between Two Worlds on Facebook. Maybe check it out. I was in that group for many years practicing on photographs, on people for free, so that I could understand the difference between what was psychic and what was mediumistic. And when you nail this, you learn to be able to flip the switch, as I call it, so you can flip from psychic to mediumship. You can move it backwards and forwards, whichever way you want. And then you can also then completely take it out as you move further down your mediumship there altogether. It is a great technique, one of the easiest that I can give you for clairvoyance, psychically, or mediumship. I wish you well with it. It's great fun. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy working with it. You'll enjoy using it. It's something that brings you a lot of clarity as you move further forward there. So in essence, to the person who asked me the question yesterday, how do you know the difference between psychic images and mediumistic images? This is how. I've been Danielle, better known as Danielle, the Happy Medium. Sorry on the late upload. I was away working in the south. Thank you very much to everybody in the south as well. It was a phenomenal night as always, or afternoon. It was actually an afternoon service. So thank you very much for them who come along to watch me work. And I'll be seeing you all very, very soon.